try to tackle a great big long joke unless you really feel that you can deliver it properly. There's nothing worse than getting halfway through a joke and going, oh, I can't remember the rest. You know, and all of these people that have been built up with excited anticipation walk away going, well, that was not worth a cracker. You know, but if you can deliver one joke that's a good one and a bit long, then lock it away and use it. Do you know, before I was a doctor, I was a journalist. Now, see, that's not true at all. Right? But, right, I'm telling a joke so I can embellish it. And I was there in Canberra the very first day Bob Hawke, the former Prime Minister, came to power. The tears of Malcolm Fraser were still on the table. Now, when he got to the highest office in the land and sat at that desk, he picked up the phone. Who was the first person he should have rung? His wife, Hazel, the woman who's helped to get him from obscurity to where he is now. And yet he didn't. He picked up the phone and he rung George Bush. And he sort of went, hi, George, is Bob here? Yeah, I'm in the office, in the main position. Thanks for the job. Now, I've got to pick a deputy. Yeah, like a vice president. And I wondered what format you used when you pick someone with all the style and charisma of that Dan Quayle. And George said, well, let me tell you, Bob, all I did was call Dan in the office. And I said, Dan, how'd you like to be vice president? And Dan said, oh, yeah? He said, well, you can be vice president even though you can't spell potato if you can answer me a question. If your father had a son and it was not your brother, who would it be? Dan Quayle thought for a moment. If my father had a son, but it weren't my brother, by heck, it'd be me. He said, congratulations, Mr. Vice President. Is that all you did, eh? It doesn't sound difficult. I'll try that. Thanks a lot, George. Hung up the phone. Hey, Paul, get in here. What is it, Bob? How would you like to be Deputy Prime Minister? Oh, I want to be Prime Minister. Well, you can't be Prime Minister, I'm Prime Minister. But you can be Deputy if you can answer me a question. Listen up. If your father, how did it go? If your father had a son and it wasn't your brother, who would it be? Well, Paul thought for a moment and then he said, I'll be back. And he took off down the corridor to Barry Jones' office. He knocked on the door, opened the door. Oh, Barry, quick question, hypothetical. If your father had a son and it wasn't your brother, who would it be? Well, quick as lightning, Barry said, that's easy, it'd be me. Oh, thanks. And he's taken off back to Bob's office. Now you can see what's coming, can't you, there? Because Paul burst back in through the door and says, oh, Bob, got the answer. That was bloody quick. Who would it be? It'd be Barry Jones. And of course, Bob, in all his wisdom, said, no, you drongo, the answer's Dan Quayle.